Okay, hello everybody and welcome to another Chill Sunday stream. Hope everybody's doing well on this chill and lovely Sunday. I see that Jaguar is first today. Welcome, Jaguar. Hope you're having a chill and lovely Sunday. Glad to have you here. We're just gonna chill on this title screen with this awesome music for a few while everybody makes their way in. I do want to remind everybody here to switch over to live chat, as YouTube has a tendency to put you on top chat, which leaves out parts of the conversation, and I like when my chat is communicating with each other and not just with me. Welcome, Christy. You are indeed second. Jalix says, I was too lazy to write something. Well, you just did, so welcome, Christy and Jalix. Hope you're having a chill and lovely Sunday. I hope all is well. Thank you so much, Christy. I hope this is an amazing stream as well. So our conversation for the day is going to be to talk a little bit about Eurocentrism. I think it's a relevant conversation given some things that have been talked about lately. And yeah, we'll discuss what that is and what goes into it and how that manifests. So stick around, that'll probably be about halfway through the stream. Duke, welcome. Hope you're having a lovely and chill Sunday. Glad to have you here. Christy says, currently cooking pizza so I can watch the stream. Well, I hope your pizza comes out amazing, and pizza with the chill Sunday stream sounds like a good way to spend your Sunday. Merchant says, hi all, I'm doing some cleaning so I'll be AFK but watching the stream. I hope everyone's doing well. Well, merchants, welcome. Hope your day goes well and hope the cleaning goes well as well. Jaguar says, a water reminder. Yeah, it's hot out there, everybody. This summer's been brutal. No matter where you are, this summer's been brutal. So drink water. Christy says, frozen, too lazy for homemade. Well, you know what? Nothing wrong with that every now and then, especially. But homemade pizza's good. I do have to say that. Give it another couple of minutes, and in the meantime, if you happen to be checking out my stream for the first time, or maybe you've seen some of my political content and you were just checking this out, I encourage you to join my Discord. The link for that is in the description down below. A lot of the conversations that, come about on the Discord are tied to things that are discussed in the political videos that I put out, as well as the political topics that I talk about on these streams. In addition, if you're in a financial place to do so, and only if you're in a financial place to do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. It goes a long way to supporting the channel and helping me out with making this content. So, yeah. Ill, welcome. You just woke up from a nap? Well, hopefully you will have a chill and lovely Sunday with the rest of us after your nap. Hopefully the nap was relaxing and soothing, and you're ready to get into some bug fables. Duke says, it's okay, I did frozen earlier for myself, but homemade is worth the effort. Homemade pizza really is worth the effort if you have the time to do it. It just comes out delicious. And it's a good skill to have, to be able to make something like that from scratch. It combines, I think, a lot of important processes of cooking together. that end up making a lot of good bases for a lot of different food products. Frozen is quick. See, that's why you make it when you have the energy and then freeze it, and then you have frozen pizza that's homemade. There you go. That's how you do it. Alright, I think I'm gonna get us into the game. We were in the far grasslands, and I took the liberty of restocking our inventory with some good items before starting the stream, you know, given that we were about to head into a new area. Didn't need to sit down and watch me make recipes over and over again. Jalix says I actually froze a bit of the soup I made. It's pretty neat that that's just possible. Oh yeah, freezing soup is kind of awesome. You can freeze them in little jars and just heat them up, and it's like straight up having a bowl of soup. Oh, I got caught. And that could happen. Let's try not to get caught. Let's see. What's in this way? It was an American-Italian wedding soup. What's going on over here? I didn't want to come to the far grasslands, but the Queen's orders are absolute. I just hope we don't run into any monsters while here. You're gonna run into monsters. You said the famous last words. It's you guys, so I figured out what you want. 50 berries for this tunnel. Yeah, we'll do the tunnel, sure. We don't think her taste would be the only weird thing here. Oi, I'm doing you a favor, okay? Just sit and watch. Whew, all done. Thanks, y'all. We're in your debt once again, Deanna. Thank you. Well, I'm off. See you some other time, folks. Alright, so I got a pathway back to the Ant Kingdom, so that's really useful. At least I think that's what that is. Yep. Okay, that's really useful. Who do you think put those gates there? Was it the Wasps? I hope us being here isn't considered an act of war. I mean, I think war was declared the minute the Wasp King invaded, but sure. I basically made a recipe from YouTube. Thanks, I'll probably take you up on that. Okay, Duke was offering that to Jalix. I find YouTube great for recipes because they often show a lot of the detail you don't get from written recipes. And for something like baking, that's key because technique goes a long way. That is very true. And YouTube is just generally a great source for stuff like that, where you're able to get that visual component that would be lacking in other types of recipes and stuff. It's also better for people who are visual learners. Very true. Duke says, the big bug reminds me of a motivated bug version of Sloth from FMA. Oh, wow, yeah, I wouldn't have even thought of that. It does kind of remind me of Sloth from Full Metal Alchemist now that you mention it. Jalix posted some pics of the soup and looked very delicious and heartwarming. I missed that. I'll have to go check that out. Okay, we managed to sneak inside. Let's find the artifact and get out. Wait, Leaf, remember, we must not be caught. The Wasps are formidable. Hey, we managed to get past the bandit hideout, didn't we? I don't think the Wasps will be as easy to shake off as the bandits were. Let's plan our moves carefully so that the mission may succeed. Let's move. Alright, stealth is key. And we made it right past. Alright, round 1 successful. Are these like little hives? Christy says also shout out to the Discord server for the people who couldn't make it but are still amazing. Absolutely, a lot of people on the Discord can't always make these streams, but you know, they do end up having really amazing conversations with us, we end up having good time, so good shout out, Christy, and good reminder. Little hives are always a problem. They probably are. This is a military base, right? I mean, the Wasps seem to be very militarily aggressive here, so I'm gonna say yes. Not suspicious at all. Wasps are always militarily aggressive. I mean, you're not wrong. Jalek said, I think it was something like a secret military base outside of their actual territory. I think we're getting really close to where their territory is, though. Okay, what do I do with this ice now? That guard is sleeping. Or not. Where do I have to put this? I'm assuming on that platform back there. Oh, damn. Was not expecting it. No, it doesn't go into battle. You have to fight them. I mean, you have to run from them. You can't fight them. I see. I see how to do this now. Damn it. And that could happen. Let's try not to get caught. I think the issue isn't so much that individual wasps would be too tough. I think we need to infiltrate to get something done, which means that we need to not get caught, or else we'll have the wrath of the entire wasp army on us. Come on. It's frustrating because I can't see that one when I'm in that position. I'm just gonna have to be a little more cautious. Okay. Next we have you raise that up. Maybe I have to freeze that up first. Let's run around this way and make sure we don't get caught. That was a little too high to get up. Nope, still too high to get up. Yeah, that was close. There we go. And then... Can we do it? Oh, wow. Oh, I don't have to freeze the water because I can just jump on the ice cube. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. There we go, problem solved. Let's see, Anarcho-Communist says, what do you think about the concept of a resource-based economy / the Venus Project? Could you elaborate a little bit on what... I'm not sure I'm familiar with specifically the Venus Project is. Non-profit organization... Resource-based economy for human beings utilizing technology? Where the economy is fully automated. Here's the thing. That sounds like a great ideal to me. It's a little on the difficult side for me to imagine the economy being fully automated, but in principle that sounds decent. I'd have to look into the specifics of what the Venus Project would like specifically want or advocate for, but the idea of minimizing the amount of work that would be required in a society like that seems to be a good ideal to me. Well, I got the key. Il says, this song reminds me of the statue level from GoldenEye, the one with the old Soviet statues in it. You know, I actually do not remember that particular level at all. It's been so long since I played GoldenEye. Uh-oh. I don't know how that worked, but okay. How am I supposed to get past that one? What am I supposed to do in this spot? Can I go under the, Okay, that could not have been a worse moment for me to pop up, but somehow it worked. What is with that wasp? That wasp looks like it's got a Beedrill stinger for its hand. It's super quiet in here. They must not be patrolling past here too thoroughly. Yay. Alright, team. This is a good spot to rest. We can proceed when we're ready. Less guards means whack-em time. You know I'd rather we be cautious. And you know how we are. Let's give it to them. Food storage. Keep locked. Remember to keep the vents closed. Let's see. No, Jaguar, that's a great question. You know, Anarcho, since you did bring it up and you seem to know a little bit more about it than the rest of us, I would be interested in what you had to say about the Venus Project if you wanted to share. Il says I posted the level on Discord if anyone's interested. I might check that out after stream. How are you going to gain experience? I seem to be in a part of the level right now where I can actually go forward with fights, if I so choose, but the Wasps were not giving me that much XP anyway. Good music, though. Really good music. Gotta get back into my rhythm with this already. Let's see. Turn relay, Kabu. I think I know how I can win this round. Actually, I don't know if that would work. Let's try Frigid Coffin. Yep, there we go. And poisoned. And problem solved. Actually got decent XP for that one. The fights outside were not giving me that much when I was fighting them outside. I can get in here. I'm just glad we're in the same cell. Can I use the bed to rest? No? The mental rendition to this song is great also on the Discord. Yeah, 5 damage was a lot, right, Jalix? It's so frustrating. Okay. So here's items. Would you like to use the ant storage? No, I'm good. So hungry. I guess I can give you a crunchy leaf? A request, perhaps? Now let's go, team. Aw. There we go, let's get into battle again. Alright, V, knock him out of the sky. Probably we can get 2 attacks in. And let's go for some freezing action. And almost lost Kabu on that already. Let's get V to knock you out of the air. Perfect. That was a perfect fight. Pretty close to leveling too, maybe 1 or 2 more fights. Huh? Oi? Who are you? How did you get in here? It's nice to get spoken to for a change. Wait, are you the Bug Rangers? Oh, Queenie. Pardon me? Yeah, just look at the poster. Ah, that's funny. It's such an honor. Wow, finally someone's heard my pleas. Please? What do you mean? You're the ones attacking everyone. Not me, I'm just a cleaner. Everyone's gone super nuts lately after the queen went missing. I've just kind of rolled with the punches. Better than getting thrown into a cell. You're saying the Wasp Kingdom's changed under the king? You've looked around, right? Everything's so unkempt. Everyone's just focused on fighting? Don't know where he came from, but he sure messed stuff up fast. You'll help, right? You're the Bug Rangers. Yeah, we will. On our honor. To help, we, need an ancient artifact. Got any of those? Oh, no way they'd give anything useful to me. You'd have better luck asking the king himself. Here, this should help you. You got a key. This dirty key opens the door somewhere in the Wasp Kingdom. We can't believe this is working. Hang on tight, miss. We'll restore your kingdom. Ah, you're all so cool. Yeah, you better have a reward ready when we do. I'll give you some of my famous stew for free. That sounds fair. This person's ready to give us some food. Or I would, but I'm in a tight spot now. Economy's bad. Why does this remind me of fascism? Why is everything relevant? But you'll get a superhero discount. I wonder what the word means on the poster, said Elle. I have no idea, actually. I'll take it. Name's Jade. I can't believe my dream's coming true. Make yourselves at home, Rangers. Rest, beds comfies, you won't regret it. Whew, good thing too, I needed a free heal there. What do we got here? A magic seed, a mushroom salad, restores 8 HP. That's not bad. Restores 7 HP to an ally and 7 TP. For 7 berries? Yeah, I'll take 1 or 2 of those. Okay, I can only carry 1. That's fine. And what's over here? You got dark cherries, very rare berries that are somehow grow underground. Some collectors will buy them for a high price. I'll get rid of this crunchy leaf. Yeah, I don't even know what language was on that poster, Elle. Well, I have free heals, so I might as well do these fights and level up. Let's do heavy strike and get this battle over with faster. Oops, wrong button. There we go, though. The main threat's taken care of. I'm not really worried about the flyer. Why is the music in this game so fantastic? Yeah, one more battle, so I'll just clear the room. Let's do Ice Fault and see if we can freeze them both. And we got none. Not too bad. kicked out of the air. And we'll go with another frigid strike. No, frigid coffin. Perfection, and this should end the battle right here. And level up. Alright, you know what? I can throw this one out to y'all. I don't feel like I'm having too many problems. So I don't feel like there's one I'm particularly drawn to. So let's get some audience participation in here. What do we got? We got health points. We got medal points. Is it medal points? Is that what we call them? Yeah. And we've got teamwork points. Pick a upgrade. Yeah, I literally have no idea which is best either, Jaguar, so go with your gut. And while you all pick, I am actually gonna go grab some water, so I will be right back. Okay, and we're back. Okay, what did y'all pick? Oh, looks like you picked health points. I see 83%. That's pretty decisive. Yep, so we're getting some health points. Thank you all for voting and contributing. What do we got here, though? Il says break time. Yeah, it was just a quick break, not the usual break. Merchant says health points should be prioritized in-game and in real life. Also just got back from outside. Feels like Mars out there. Duke says it's that cold where you're from. You're all too funny. I know what you mean there, Merchant. It's really hot out there. Like, no matter where you are. J-Lex says, I was the 13%. Oh. Well, unfortunately, that didn't quite work out for you there, J-Lex, but I am sure that at some point we're gonna need some more medal points. It looks like there's something over there, and I want it. Okay, no, that's just a background decoration thing, I guess. Jaguar says it's so dang hot, the cold water from the faucet is coming out as not cold. I'm glad I'm not the only one who experiences that. Uh-oh. Yeah-oh. This isn't ominous. Duke says more healthy equals always better. True. Jaguar said, but teamwork makes the dream work. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, no, I mean, all the stats in this game have been really important, and I actually think the teamwork points have been one of the most important ones. Duke said, the heat is penetrating the otherwise much cooler ground happens to me too. Jaguar says, my doorknob was also hot to the touch. Seriously? That's... wow. Il says, it's quiet, a little too quiet. Yeah, I feel like as soon as we step in here, something's about to happen. Yeah, I won't let you take another step. Who's there? Show yourself. Hear me and hear me well. I am the cruelest, the most cunning. You face General Ultimax, the crusher of rebellions. You cretins thought you could enter these halls without my noticing? We've been watching your every step. And here I was, waiting for you to come for my grand entrance. Your entrance was absolutely, what's the word? Yeah, lame. Insolent peasant. Commoner. I shall teach you how we deal with outsiders here in the Wasp Kingdom. Just get out of the way, we're in a hurry. As if I'd let you take even one more step. Troops, to your general. Shh, we lost the element of surprise. Look, just hand over the artifact and you'll save yourself a whooping. Fools, the artifact is only for our great king to behold. Even now he enjoys its splendor, safe within his chambers. You are not to disturb him in any way. Your king feasts and rests while your kingdom crumbles. Have you no obligation to your people? Oh, these words seem very relevant, if you know what I mean. Il says I'm getting Pinochet, Batista, and Franco vibes from this Wasp. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Pinochet for sure. Yeah, I can definitely see that, Il. Duke said, I think we're on a different planet now. The weather patterns where I live are noticeably different and consistently so these days. One might say that we've had some sort of climate change that has maybe changed the planet irreversibly in some way. But, you know, that's just speculation and theory. Merchant said the wind barely seems to do anything in terms of providing relief. It's brutal. Yeah, it's been brutal to see how different it's felt. And this year's really just been the worst of it. And I don't even know how to describe it half the time. As humid as it feels in areas where there should not be humidity. Like, I don't know. And I know, like, based on the science, that because of the increase in temperatures globally, that the atmosphere is holding onto more water, which means there's technically more water in terms of, like, how humid it feels. But still, it's been so desperately bad where I feel like no matter how much I sweat, it doesn't get absorbed and doesn't cool the way it used to. Duke said, I definitely felt that too, Merchants. I usually get a decent wind in my window most times because of how high up I am. And there's humid winds high up that give no relief. All who serve the king are cared for. Traitors don't deserve a thing. Waspista. Jaguar says there was a volcano that erupted recently and put a ton of water vapor in the atmosphere. We can't win these days. No, we can't. No, we can't. We cannot afford to debate our enemy. Let's clear the path to the artifact. Alright, this is interesting. We got B-drill in the front. We got, I don't know, trench B. We got a wasp drill, a trench wasp, and Waspista the Wasp General. What are their actual names gonna be? We're gonna use Frigid Icefall. Gotta freeze as many of them as possible. I'll take it. Hey, I was right, Wasp Drill. That was pretty good. Whoa there, big guy. I almost got run through. He gets tougher when I hit him. Nothing Kabu can't handle, I hope. Yeah, I gotta clear the front line here sooner rather than later. Let's go with Icefall again. Perfection on that one. That gives me a chance to spy on you. Wasp Bomber. Okay. That would have been second guess. Stop it. Stop chucking stuff at us. I can't even knock down those boxes. Kabu, if you flip it twice, I can bring it down the smackdown. Let's do Icefall one more time. That's not good. Go to turn relay and get Kabu to do something about that defense. You know, I'm pretty sure Frigid Coffin will... No, because it has defense. Never mind. Icefall will finish that one, so that's good. We're gonna have you spy on General Ultimax over here. We don't have time for this. We've got to deal with the Wasp King. For a general, this guy's really weak. I'll beat up everyone else first. Heavy strike? Oh, jeez. Turn relay onto Cabo. He's knocked over. And let's use Frigid Coffin on him. Not too bad. And then we'll have V give up her turn to Kabu to break this thing's defense. And let's go for a Frigid Coffin. Beautiful. Can you please stop healing? Alright. Ah, that's funny. Jaguar said my succulents and cactus are also very upset with how hot it's been. That's disturbing. Duke said typically volcanoes actually cool the atmosphere for a short time due to the gases being reflective, I believe. Right now things are going to get worse on the climate front for a long time before they ever get better. Yeah, and nobody's doing anything about it, and that's the problem. Jaguar said I'll have to reread the article and see how it affected the atmosphere. Il says, when cacti start complaining about the heat, you know something's wrong. 100%. Yeah, this general's not very good. He doesn't have any backup, so what is he gonna do? Talks a big game when he's got an army working for him, but by himself he's nothing. I want to give V the final blow. V the final blow. There we go. Good amount of EXP also. No, my troops. How dare you? Just shut up already. This is getting tiresome. Get him, Kabu. As you wish. Knock out. Let's get the artifact back. The king should be in the next room. Let's go. This is not the last you've seen of me. Next time, victory will be on Ultimax's side. Just shut it. Can we just kill him now? Also, I am the Wasp ruler now. The great queen of the Wasps. You, who are you? What? Are you the king's, Heavens no, but I'm but a hostage in my own castle. I'm Vanessa II, ruler of the Wasp Kingdom. Or so I was before that poser somehow stole my people's minds and locked me in my own chamber. Could it be that you've come to save me? Or it'd be a lie to say so. We came to defeat the king. He's not here? Or at least to take the artifact. I'm afraid not. He left the general in charge some time ago when he decided to attack the Ant Kingdom. I've not seen him since. What? How could this be? He was driven out of the Ant Kingdom, and we've had reports he... Could it be? I love how V is completely unfazed right now. This is bad. Disastrous. What's up? We were tricked. There's no artifact here. What? The general lied through his dirty jaws. Curses. Your kingdom must be in danger too. We must return immediately. Please allow me to accompany you. It would not be wise for me to stay here. Have your people completely forsaken you? My people have lost their minds. Even if I do not know how, we cannot rely on them. Let's leg it. What if the town's all ruined again? With haste. You fell for our trap. I cannot but help but laugh. General Fuff. Not my name. And you're too late. Our attack at the End Kingdom may have failed the first time, but the second time with your lot out and that sword guy out of the way, our glorious king will finally take all the artifacts. Curses, we won't be able to get back in time. We played right into their hand. Out of the way. Gladly. Not like you can do anything to stop us now. Yeah. No time to waste. Let's meet up with Maki and rush to the End Kingdom. Team Snakemouth, what's wrong? Did you find the artifact? Maki, we have no time. We must go to the End Kingdom right now, you see. The town looks more than fine. Did that poser lie to us? No, I can feel something's off. We must hurry to the Queen. I shall accompany you. I do wish to talk to the Queen about the situation as well. Yes, I shall escort you. Team Snakemouth, please join us when you're ready. Do you feel that? I need to go back to the castle. Something weird is happening. Take all the side quests we can. Sure, we'll do them eventually. So what exactly is going on here in the Ant Kingdom right now? Team Snakemouth, hurry. You vile filth, step away from the Queen. Team Snakemouth, I'm sorry, my injury. You blasted usurper. Will you burn all of Bulgaria to the ground to reach your foolish ambitions? You're all so pathetic, pitiable. A king holds absolute power over his people. He's not meant to serve, he is to be served. To command, to possess, to enjoy, that is the privilege of royalty, and it shall be all mine. You haven't learned your lesson? Shall I thaw out your ice and flame once and for all? Like we'd fall for the same trick twice. You would. Team Snakemouth. Kabu. Move. Kina! Stop, you'll hurt my people no longer. Hand them over, all of them, or I will pry them from your carcass. No, if we do Hill, you have until my axe swings to say yes. It'll be all the same. When I come back with the power of the everlasting sapling, you shall all bow to me once more, but you shall keep breathing. Enjoy your last days of peace, low lives. Out the window. Curse it all. We lost. That's no way to end a show. My queen, all I've done is fail you. Stay still, Maki. You're even more hurt than me. It's okay. At least we're all safe. It's not. He's just gonna get the sapling and come back. What could be the source of his power? It isn't. No, Queen, thank you for choosing to save us. I do not deserve your gratitude. I've failed everyone. You, my loyal people, my mother, the Queen. It'd be folly to pretend I deserve this royal mask. My Queen, that's not true. We couldn't ask for one better. You are our mother, our beacon of hope. Thank you, Zariant, but now all has been taken away from us. The Wasp King possesses the keys to find the sapling. I have failed as both your queen and mother of our people. No. I know I'm an outsider to all this, but may I speak? When the king usurped my people, I cowered and hid. I have never raised a blade. I simply believed my subjects would always follow me no matter what. I don't know how, but he turned them all on me just like that. If you are not a queen, I am but a peasant. I would never serve one without conviction and integrity. You've given us all the chance to thrive in your city. Your words are kind, but I cannot accept them. As we speak, the Wasp King must be heading toward the everlasting sapling. Yet we have no way to pursue. Elisand, please answer us finally. Why do you desire the sapling? Why go through all this? I assumed it would be to keep yourself young and fit to rule. Right, no one wants to get old. Fair assumptions, but no, it was never something for my own to gain. I might as well tell you then, the reason for my search. Yep, backstory and lore time. The true queen, Elisand I, my mother, she yet lives. She was put in a deep slumber using crystal energy, a sort of stasis. It was her dream to get the sapling so she could continue to rule Bulgaria for years to come. I wished only to bring her back with it. A graceful queen, loved by all, a diplomatic genius who ended wars without combat. I longed for her return so that I may concede my throne to her, for she's much more than I have ever been. We truly thought wrong of your intentions, but the truth sounds even more insane. Wow, that's awesome. I'm not sure if that would be my reaction. We need to go beat up the king. Whatever he wants isn't any better. If we knew where he was going, we would have some chance, but... Actually, I do know where, probably. Were you ever gonna tell us? Speak up. Right, I was waiting for the right moment. The king is certainly going for the sapling, yeah? Analyzing everything we know so far, my conclusion is that the sapling must be in the giant's lair. You mean that giant wall we can see from the big tree? The haunted place? That giant's lair? A towering behemoth of steel and wood, said to have housed the previous rulers of these lands, the so-called giants. It is forbidden to go there. None who enter have come back. It's a house, probably. In hindsight, it makes sense it'd be there, even if we needed the artifacts to enter. We need a boat to get there, though. Doubt the Wasps will let us sail in fine and dandy. They were one step ahead of us. We had just received reports that the ships at the pier were sunk by the Wasps. What do we do, then? Bees can't build boats or anything. You could fly. If you'd allow me to suggest something, why not ask the Termite Kingdom? There's a Termite Kingdom. They're an isolationist yet advanced society that lives just outside Bulgaria. They hate daylight, so they don't make much contact. Some species go for a visit, but they forbid entrance to all ants. Well, it's a good thing they also don't have any ants in our party. Or that's how they used to be, right, our queen? When my mother went into her sleep, I was not skilled enough to maintain her level of diplomacy, and our alliance fell apart. But they are our only hope. I will go. Injured though I may be, I shall request an audience and do what it takes. I must oppose. The termites live deep in the Forsaken Lands. That area is teeming with dangerous beasts. You must not put yourself in such danger. I will prepare envoys at once. If this was any other time, I would agree with you, but there's no choice. We're only in dire straits because of me. I will go myself, and that is final. If only I was strong as you, my queen, injured as I am. Maki, Zariant, you two rally up all explorers. Do not let rumors and panic spread. When we return, we shall strike the Wasps. They must certainly have seized the rubber prison as we speak. That's the only known way inside the Giant's lair from Bulgaria. But right now, we will move to the Forsaken Lands. I will need an escort to ensure I arrive at the Termite Kingdom. Team Snakemouth, I shall wait for you at the Golden Path Tunnel. The old entrance to the Forsaken Lands is located there. Also, Vanessa, please feel free to stay at our palace. We do not have much to offer, but we will make sure to treat you as you deserve. Why, you have my gratitude, Alizant. It seems you misjudge your ability to impress in court. Our mothers may have had trouble in the past, but we can change the relationship between ants and wasps for generations to come. Is that so? Then let us share a meal when this is all dealt with. Team Snakemouth, we must hurry. Do not keep me waiting. Yeah, I agree, Il. The ending wars without combat was a great quote. You know, the best war is one that never has to be had. Team Snakemouth, please protect the queen. You can count on us. Assault on Rubber Prison. A glass window of Queen Lara and King Hector IV, rulers of the termites. A glass window of Vanessa I, former queen of the Wasps. So there's the Termite Kingdom, the Ant Kingdom, the Bee Kingdom, and the Wasp Kingdom. What's going on? What's the big ruckus? Well, you see... What, to think this would happen behind our backs? This is your fault. How dare you all lose? We did what we could. At least we could say we were present. Why, you... Motiva, you've got to learn to shut up sometimes. Watch your mouth, pink freak. Watch your mouth, lest it suffers an unfortunate strike. Hehe, Maki. Shut it or we'll take you all on right now. We can't afford to waste any time. We can argue when the kingdom's safe. It's good to see some have their priorities straight. We'll go ahead on our task now. Try not to beat each other up. Must we always have these quarrels? Well, duh. Do you know how frustrating it is to live in your short, meager shadow? Come on, we beat you already. Shut up. As if you're the only team who's grown. Whatever, we'll settle this later. Can't get too agitated before my show today. You're a paragon of chivalry. Anyways, we're off to the Termite Kingdom, so don't bother us. Don't care. See you, dorks. They're gonna be back. Compass always points to this big crystal. Use it whenever you want to travel back here. There's quite a few tunnels leading back here already. The compass will take you to them. Interesting. Where did I need to meet the queen at? What is over here? No solicitors. There's a symbol of fire on the ground. I wonder if that's going to be relevant. Where did I end up? A library? We expected something a bit more evil. I hate when the treasure turns out to be books. But books are the best part of treasure. This must be someone's residence. We're trespassers. We just gotta get out before... Blimey! What is that noise? What are you folks doing here? This is a private domicile. I should have patched up that ditch. Get out of here, alright? Or I'll kick you out myself. And don't you dare touch any books. I'll track you down. Was that a spider? Seemed more like a friendly neighborhood tarantula. We could have gone to prison. Guess we'd better get out of here before he explores us. I found the perfect potion recipe, but by me, everything's so spread across the land I'm too lazy. Fine? Yep, let's save the game and see what's... Can't get out, exactly, so let's climb up. Zero, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a chill and lovely Sunday. Glad to have you here. Hope all's going well. Do you want a capsule that'll cost 12 berries? Nope. Good sir, would you spare a moment of your time? You're still here. Can't you see I'm busy? The door is locked. We literally can't leave. Now without breaking something. Oh, sigh. Blimey, I get really into my potions. It's open now. It is? I'm a wizard. Do you dare underestimate me? Thanks for letting us out. Our apologies for breaking in. It's whatever. All I care about is finishing this brew. Sir Wizard? Yeah, you seem troubled. We're explorers. What he means is it seems like you need help. Do you know anything about extracting the magical components of materials? You boast you can help me? Well, can't we? There's a potion I want to make, but it's materials. I'd have to travel everywhere. I hate leaving the tower. What kind of ingredients? Nectar from the critters of the land, fruit that blooms in lifeless soil, and the essence of frost itself. That sounds super cool, so what's the ingredients? If you really want to help, you'll figure it out. A riddle from one of the 10 great sorcerers. We'll try and make it worth our while. Alright, so what was that list? Nectar from critters of the land, fruit that blooms in lifeless soil, and the essence of frost itself. So I'm assuming the essence of frost itself is one of those ice magic spell things. Nectar from the critters of the land, would that be some sort of honey? And fruit that blooms in lifeless soil. I don't know what that one is. Anybody have any ideas? Zero says I'm recovering. It's slower than I would like, but I'm on the mend. I've been drinking water non-stop. Oh, yeah, I hope you keep, working on getting better, and keep drinking that water no matter what. You know, honestly, I'm not even experiencing anything severe, and I just feel like no matter how much I drink water, I can't hydrate with this heat. Fruit that blooms in lifeless soil makes me think of a prickly pear. Yeah, I'm thinking something like that, but I don't know of any item in the game that actually is like a prickly pear. Lifeless soil makes you think of concrete sidewalk? That's interesting. It's actually quite poetic. Well, I'd like to give this sorcerer the 3 things that they want. If you don't mind, Jetlix, for sure. None of these 3 items should be particularly hard to come by. Stay away. Maybe each of the items is related to each of the characters. That would be an interesting twist. A squash, an aphid dew, and a magic ice to the wizard. Okay. Where do I get a squash? That's the only one I don't know how to get. The aphid dew and magic ice are pretty easy to get your hands on. Maybe in the Termite Kingdom? Maybe. Let's see. Aphid dew, folk fables. It's Golden Settlement, you can buy it. What about squash? Apparently you can find it in the Forsaken Lands, and you can get it in the Bandit Hideout theoretically, or in the Termite Kingdom. Alright, so yeah, we'll head to the Termite Kingdom then. this way, and then I believe if we head to the right from here, it should take us near where we were for the Wasp Kingdom. And that should be relatively close to the Termite Kingdom. I know there was a path somewhere in here that turned off towards the Termite Kingdom. And I think I found it last time, but I didn't really know what to do in that spot. Now I do. So now it's just a matter of refinding the way to that location. Oh, okay. I found my way back. So I'm guessing that was not 100% the correct way. Okay, we'll cross here again. If not that way, then let's try going this way. I vaguely remember this pathway from last week. Nope, not this way. Okay. Alright, so this is not the path I need to be on. Let me just check. When is it claiming makes its way to the giant's lair? Head to the termite kingdom. Okay. They're not really specific more than that on where the termite kingdom is. Zero, what do you like about the music with this area? Because honestly, this game has just had absolutely fantastic music the whole way through. It's just been an absolute pleasure listening to this soundtrack. It's subtle and kind of mellow. Yeah, I can totally see that. B, can you throw the boomerang in the right direction? Thank you. Little bit of darkness and mystery. Yeah, I feel like it encapsulates this like swampy atmosphere very well. Wait, did we just end up going in a circle? Is this not how you get to the termite kingdom? I swear to you, I remember there being a termite somewhere in here. It's south of Bulgaria outskirts? Like the area where you get quests and stuff. Really? Man, I must have completely misremembered where that was. Thank you for looking that up, Jalix. I can use the compass. to return to the inn. You're correct. I forgot about that. That compass is going to be game-changing in terms of like just fast travel ability, especially for doing side quests. Okay, so Bulgaria outskirts. I still don't have a key for this. Oh, I definitely agree. A fast travel system makes a huge difference. East to Lost Sands and Middle Lake. Yeah, it makes a huge difference in terms of respecting the player's time, and honestly, I think more games need to be respectful of players' time. I could probably get across there. Now that I have Leap's ability. Yep. I wonder what is over there. You found another dark cherry. But I don't want to get rid of these. I guess I'll get rid of... If I have to, I will get rid of the sweet shroom based on that. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Cool little secret over there. Looks like there's another one over there. But I should empty my inventory before I do that. My boat, the Wasp, sunk it. Aw. Zero says, I only briefly played Skyrim, but I gave up because it was so big. And then I made the mistake of getting into Elden Ring. Now that I've put 200 hours into it, I still haven't beaten it. That's a long time to put into a game. Okay, I am getting a little bit frustrated about not finding the Termite Kingdom. Oops, sorry about that. South of Bulgaria, outskirts. Termite Kingdom, Bug Fables. Termite Capital, okay, Forsaken Lands. Area south of Bulgaria, outskirts. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it for chat. I just don't know how we get there still. It just says south. Thought I was south? But let's see if I can go this way. Maybe I have to go around and down like this. Also, what's across here? This is where I'd put a secret if I was developing a game. Someone here, I must be seeing things. Our apologies for disturbing you, we're simply looking around. I was finally alone, but even here society follows. We're leaving, okay, sheesh. Try to have a nice day. Damn. I just ruined this guy's... Wait, that permit. You're explorers. Who else would detour into this cave? You help people, right? Well, Kabu does. What can we do for you, Sir Hermit? My name's Elam. I can feel that you have something extraordinary, something I miss. But I can't put it into words. It's, probably a healthy side of optimism. You're an optimist? It's not that. I can feel you've been somewhere beautiful, removed from others. I know what I miss is there. Can't you try and find it? We usually get less vague requests, and we go to super awesome places all the time. When I look at the three of you, it's as if the light of a golden paradise fills my eyes. Does that help at all? It's better than nothing. It's a tough request, but we'll keep you posted. Thank you. I will keep trying to figure out what my role is in this world. A spiritual golden paradise? I imagine it's something from Venus. Oops. I'm still trying to figure out how to get to the Termite Kingdom. Let's see. Okay, I was really close. It is in this cave. My queen, are you sure about this? These lands are very dangerous. If there was any other way, I assure you I would take it. The Forsaken Lands. Do the rumors hold true? Many dangerous beasts roam in the Forsaken Lands. Some even disguise themselves in various forms. Famished creatures, always waiting for their next meal in the land where plants only grow by miracles. But heed me, nothing in this land compares to the horror we will live if the wasps get the sapling. I've heard that termites dislike ants heavily. Would they open their doors? We can only hope. They realize this matter concerns them as well. Having a queen with us is not the worst insurance. Let's proceed at once. You are to keep me safe, but I will support you where I can. Leave it to us. Be careful out there, my queen. The real horror would be a kingdom without you. My loyal subject, I thank you. Please wait faithfully for our return. As long as Elysind is following the party, you are now able to use the Royal Decree skill in battle. So can I bring... No, okay. I was gonna say, could I bring the queen with me on side quests? Okay, we're in a battle. I bet they could get by without a queen as well, Zero. Spy. Boy, aren't snails slow and stuff? The Forsaken Lands really are super dangerous. We can still just fight them like they're numbnails though, right, Kabu? I mean, pretty much, they're the same enemy. More or less. Just more defense, I think. Turn relay onto Kabu, who can finish this off. There we go. But I need to heal up. What does Royal Decree do anyway? Elysind will inspire the party, boosting attack and defense for by 1 for 2 turns. That's not terrible. There are items that do that though. Fail, and I don't have anything to... Alright. Yeah, we can spy. Y'all wouldn't consider just running from this one, right? I know it's no spider, but whoa, it's got a giant rock, Kabu. Hurry up and hit it. Damn. Actually, I am gonna run from this fight. I think I'm gonna just, now that I know where I'm going, I'm gonna just hit the town back up, do a heal, and then we'll make our way after that. There we go. Head back into the cave and do what we gotta do with Elysiant. Oh, we're fighting the snail again. Easy enough there. Just high defense. Use ice coffee. Turn relay back to Kabu. Oh, wow. At least I got that freeze off. That should finish the fight. What is this? Is that a plague doctor? Whoa, are these normal bugs I see? Patton, so this is where you crawl to after your exile. Who's this guy? Oh, just a little scientist. A mad scientist with no concept of ethics or safety regulations. Oi, oi, my stuff never hurt nobody too badly. I do not have time for a trip down memory lane. You all seem pretty buzzed out. Must be real serious. We must travel to the Termite Kingdom or all of Bulgaria will be doomed. Boy, that sounds rough. It wouldn't help my research at all either. If you've got any tips, it'd help. This is some kind of thick fog. Nothing to be done about that, but this land's full of trash, yeah? Bugs have been marking it to remember the correct path. So long as there's not a forked road. If you keep your eyes open, you should be fine. Patton, thank you for your assistance. We'll discuss that when the kingdom's safe. Please keep your trinkets here for now. Alright, drop by if you ever want to peek at them. As long as you stick to the marked paths, you should reach the Termite Kingdom. Just keep your eyes open. It's as simple as that. And, come visit later without the Queen. Seems to be a mix of, receipts and orders along the wall. Alright, I think this is a good enough time as any to take a quick break. I'm gonna get some more water. Gonna remind you all to stay hydrated as well. And we'll be back in a few minutes, and then we can start our conversation for the day. So I will be back in a few, and chill with this nice music in the meantime. Alright, everyone. We are back. There we go. Hope that was a decent break. And how's everybody doing? See, the chat's a little quiet. No revolts, no revolutions. What happened, everyone? How's everybody doing? Jalek said I got water. Good. Good. Glad to hear that. That does sound like a good break. How about everybody else? How was their break? Jaguar said I went to get water and started to do my PT exercises. Hey, good job on doing your PT exercises. Let's do this. There we go. And we can just have B take a break. Jaguar said no revolt for me this time because I was busy training. Jalek says Finland got strawberry pizza. Wait, Finland has strawberry pizzas? What does that even mean? And too hot for a revolt. It really is. Jeez. I mean, it's not the strangest thing I've heard about on pizza. People put all sorts of toppings on pizza. What does this do? Oh, there's a squash. Unfortunately, my inventory is full. But I know I can get them here, so... that's good. Sweden has bananas? I could see, plantains being good on pizza. I don't know if I'd go with more, like, sweet bananas, personally, but... Curses, the bridge is out. How shall we cross? Let's look around. We've always found a way. I dare say you've been thwarted this once. Yeah. These lands are disorienting us as is. Would there be a path we missed? Not in this direction, from what we've seen. Are you 100% sure? If we could cross this smallest of gaps. V, my queen, you should carry us one by one across the ravine. What? We've tried this approach, and if it was a vast canyon, I would reconsider, but there's no time. V, this is an order you must try. I can't do it alone. Just carrying Kabu would be hard enough. Well, support, V. Come on, try it out. You know, you can do that? Been practicing. Then there's no longer an excuse. V, fly with haste. Whatever. I'm gonna be all sore. Fine, whatever. Leave it to me. V can use fly. Okay, that's adorable. Barely make it. He is trying really hard and doing it. That should end it. So yeah, I think this might be a good time to talk about today's conversation topic. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about Eurocentrism. Now, if you've been on the Discord, you know a little bit about why this might be something I wanted to talk about a little bit. And I'm not going to cover it kind of from that same perspective, but just I wanted to talk a little bit about Eurocentrism because it's something that I think is a part of analysis that I'm not seeing quite as often as I'd like in certain online spaces, and I think it's worth examining. So, what do we mean by Eurocentrism? Well, Eurocentrism in a lot of ways refers to kind of a worldview where European viewpoints and European standards are centered over the standards and viewpoints of peoples from the rest of the world. And these viewpoints can include not just people who are European today, but people who would have tied their ancestry to Europe, including the majority of whites in the United States as well as other parts of the world. And generally, it's the history of peoples who are tied to oppressing other groups of people through colonial and imperial means. When we look at the way that the globe has manifested through colonial and imperial practices of Europe to the rest of the world. So, and I want to put that definition out there so that we kind of have a level playing field with what we're talking about. And there's a lot of different examples that show how Eurocentrism manifests in the world. History being a prime example of something that is taught from a very Eurocentric standpoint. European history is prioritized. Generally speaking, when we talk about the history of the world, especially in the United States, you see a history that goes basically Egypt, Greece, Rome, and then into Europe proper, and it never really leaves there ever again until you come to the United States. And the colonization of the continent of North America happens. So that would be an example of a Eurocentric history that ignores pretty much all of Africa, all of Asia, until it's relevant from a European point of view. And there's a lot of other examples, but I wanted to kind of throw it out to you all while I play a little bit of any examples you might want to bring up or might think of and discuss before I go to other examples that I've come up with. So I'll just give you all a minute with that. In the meantime, I'm going to fight this pumpkin and this drooling spider, which is kind of weirding me out a little bit. A pumpling. Alright then, this ain't good. It's fat and way too sturdy. If I'm gonna inherit it, it needs some piercing skills. I think I'll have to rely on Kabu and Lee for this one. That thing's got some strong defense. Even Kabu can't break that very easily. Ice ball. Greetings, Imagination Scene. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a chill and lovely Sunday. Hope all is well. Jaguar says, one easy example that someone and I were talking about would be anthropology and archaeology. A lot of interpretation and what we learn is through a Eurocentric lens. Yeah, for sure. That definitely ties into the historical stuff that I was talking about. But you're also right. The way that other cultures, the way that everything is looked at globally, especially how we analyze certain aspects of the archaeological record, are in fact indicated through a very Eurocentric lens. There we go. We finally finished Pumpkin off. Let's spy on Drooling Spider over here. Mimic Spider. Yeah, ugh. Heck, you're going down. As if you could put us to sleep after that scare. Yep, well, Kabu's asleep. At least it doesn't have any defense. Imagination, we were talking about Eurocentrism, and we were just starting the conversation, and I had kind of given a definition of what Eurocentrism is, and I was asking if anybody else had any other examples they wanted to bring up to kind of talk about the topic a little bit more. Let's see, we just went through that way. Wonder what a... Oh, I guess I can use these wins with B to, like, help push B further. Would that work? Oh, wow. This isn't creepy at all. Alright, at least it attacked the back row. Jaguar says a lot of the stories that we learn or read about heavily lean Eurocentric. Gods and goddesses, even the modern superheroes model after this sort of European idea. Yeah, those are all great examples as well. The Greek hero's journey as an example. And Ill is saying hi to Imagination Scene. I don't think I can really do anything with you, so let's do a spy. 1, 2, 20, not cute. This is gonna get out of hand real fast. We should be able to freeze them all at once anyhow. Ill says, I shared a video on Eurocentrism in the Discord. Yeah, we'll definitely have to check that out later. But if you do have any examples you want to bring up now while we're having the conversation, that'd be cool. Well, at the end of this battle, I'm going to talk about a few things. I think I have to take a cluster out, because otherwise they're just going to keep respawning them. Knock this one out of the sky. Cabo, you can finish it off. And spy on the individual one. Cute little blob alone in such a place. If we had more time, we'd consider domesticating it, but V, you know what to do. Knock it out of the sky and finish it off. Okay, let's see. Zero says, medicine is highly Eurocentric. The entire concept of BMI is based on white men and doesn't apply to women or people of color. Oh, that's actually a really great example. Medical racism is certainly a thing. And the way that medical, as you stated, the way that we define a lot of things in the medical industry is done via a very Eurocentric lens, applying to white cis men primarily over any other group. Zero says many traditional foods are deemed bad or unhealthy if they didn't originate in Europe. 100% correct. I'm glad you're bringing that up as well. Because that's definitely one of those biases that I don't think get talked about often enough. There are plenty of instances where things like avocados or coconuts were historically considered to be unhealthy, especially when they were primarily being used in communities of color. And then when they got recognized by certain industries as being able to be packaged and sold to white populations, it was recognized as the healthy food ingredients that they are. So yeah, Il says, some events in history do not get the attention when it's from non-European cultures. The video used the time when the Muslims brought their advancements to Europe and Spain. Yeah, no, that's a great example from the historical narrative. The whole situation with Spain getting all of its advancements from that particular set of influences is often downplayed to kind of make Spain seem like it's this great center of culture that always had these things, when in fact it inherited a lot of it. Even parts of the Spanish language are inherited from Arabic. So that's a really good point. Jaguar says, oh my god, yes, Sarah, I relate to the food thing so hard. Il said, and the Chinese inventions that were eventually made their way into Europe. True. There were a number of Chinese inventions that had existed beforehand, and the Silk Road ended up bringing them into Europe over the course of history. But again, it's kind of talked about where history is kind of tied to this inevitability that, of course, Europe would have developed these things. There's been plenty of historical narratives that have tried to make that case. Imagination says, I've covered Islamic studies, so I have an example. In the history of philosophy, it is highly Eurocentric. It's changed quite a bit in the past 5 to 6 years, though. Yeah, that's another great component of, well, not great in that sense, but like great example of a component of this. In a lot of cases, the historical narrative of philosophy is often framed via this very you know, Greco-Roman bases, where Plato is the height. Plato and Aristotle are raised as some of the greatest intellectuals of history, and that's not to say that they're not, you know, great in their own ways, but you also have other great philosophers and scientists from all across the globe. MSG even. MSG is another example. When it comes to food, right? Great one. MSG is generally considered to be unhealthy in a lot of places in the West, even though there's very little scientific reasoning for that. It's mostly down to a racist notion that it's unhealthy because of its cultural ties. From being in American Chinese food, which is not authentic Chinese food in the least. What else do we got here? Imagination Scene says one short introduction series that includes Islamic philosophy is the podcast History of Philosophy without any gaps. Yeah, definitely if you can throw that in either the Discord or throw it somewhere in the chat, you know, by all means, add it to the conversation. Jalek said I should get at least one squash for the quest. I can't right now because I don't have the inventory space for it, but as soon as I get an inventory space that clears up, I will. They seem to be falling out of just about every single one of these routes and are really easy to get. I'm also just not sure where to go because every pathway seems to loop on itself. Like, every path is leading back to the same screens. Il says, and like learning about the space race, it's like the USSR's feats are seen as hostile or in a negative way. I mean, the USSR dominated the space race. The US basically changed the rules and said the first one to the moon wins kind of deal. But like, the entire history up to that point, the first satellite, the first rockets into space, like, that was all Soviet. The only thing that the US technically, quote, won was getting to the moon first. Imagination says, I've been watching Islamic Studies academic lectures for years. I could talk about this for a while. Zero says, they lost every milestone except the moon. Yeah. Let's see if we go this way. What happens? Make it across. We did. What's this way now? Ah, new path. Okay, cool. Oh, okay. Not a real pumpkin. Not a real pumpkin. I do not want to fight you because you're annoying. Okay, I guess we're fighting. Especially annoying because I can only really harm you once per turn because I don't have teamwork points. Could use one of these items there. I'd really rather not though. Turn reeling's not gonna work, Jalix, because Kabu's already doing 1 damage, and Kabu's damage will get reduced by 1 on the turn relay. So we just play the waiting game. But we gotta level up. Which means, while I read and catch up with chat, we've got another poll coming out. Choose the poll. Choose our upgrade. We've got health points. We've got teamwork points. And we've got medal points. Ask your community. Alright. Alright, please minimize the poll so I can actually see. There we go. Il says, and like learning about world wars, we're taught about the Nazis is horrible and shouldn't be repeated, but we don't learn about the atrocities committed by the US in Vietnam and Latin America. Yeah, that's very true. And a lot of the Vietnam War, when it is taught from a very US-centered perspective. You'll see a lot of conversations talking about the civil rights movement and the tie-ins to the anti-war movement. You'll see a lot of criticisms of the Vietnam War from how it was bad from a US perspective of people going into the draft. Very rarely do you see it criticized because of the nature of the war itself and the fact that it was an imperial and colonial war, and the fact that in the process of trying to stop democracy in Vietnam, the US set up a puppet regime and basically controlled it at the expense of the Vietnamese people after they'd already experienced a massive struggle against the French, and the US just joined in and supported the French in that, which again was also done so the French would not turn to the Soviets, because there was an appeal to certain wealthier oligarchs within France itself in order to try to get them to support the US and capitalism by appealing to their colonial and imperial history, and to try to maintain their colony. Il says, of the history of just abuse that Europe caused to Africa and Latin America and their plundering, or what happened to indigenous people in North America. Imagination Scene said, one thing that gets missed out is the history of socialism is especially in Muslim majority countries. It's quite hard to find good content on that. True. Yeah, no, definitely a major factor. A lot of how we frame leftist perspectives tend to be through a very Eurocentric lens. Marxism, for all the good analysis that it has given of capital and its usefulness, has a lot of issues in terms of how it was originally proposed. The idea that the third world would be inevitably drawn to capitalism before it reached socialism, for example, is this very Eurocentric viewpoint that the Industrial Revolution would have to happen in places in order for socialism to manifest. You need a proletariat class in order to create that. Like, that whole inevitability that Marx kind of implies is another example of Eurocentrism. And the thing is, and I do want to say this, is while we're bringing up all these examples, this is a global issue. Because of the fact, a lot of places have a sort of slightly ethnocentric view of the world and of themselves. And that's kind of normal, right? But because Europe has conquered and used its military might and economic might globally to enforce its own standards, Eurocentrism has a very different meaning than a lot of other ethno-nationalisms and ethno-centric views of one's culture. And so when we look at this framework of the world, we have to recognize that a lot of how we view things comes from that very European lens. And so it's important, one, to identify these things, but two, to accept that we're going to have this because that's how the world's been taught. Much of the world's been taught for an extended period of time. Not just within what we would define as like the imperial core of like Europe and the United States and other parts of the globe, right? But also in the places that have been colonized. And an example I want to bring up for just a moment is it's still quite common in certain parts of the globe for European beauty standards to be dominant. It's not uncommon to see things like in India, for example, which went through British colonial rule for an extended period of time and had countless famines in the region because of what Europe and Great Britain had done. You see populations of especially women in India, but also all peoples, searching for ways to lighten their skin. And with skin lightening creams, you see this in a lot of different places across the globe, and it's a very strong priority of European features and standards. Brazil has had an issue with that historically as well. And so when we talk about this, we have to understand that looking at something from a Eurocentric lens isn't necessarily even a moral judgment when it's being called out. It's a reality of how the world has manifested through European colonialism and imperialism for the past 200, 300, 400 years. And if you add Spanish colonialism on top of that, that just extends it that much further. So it's really important to keep all that in mind when we address these issues, that it's not necessarily even a personal criticism, but just an asking of someone when you do call it out to say, hey, like maybe I am viewing this from a very different perspective and I can view the world in a different way when we appeal to a different lens. But yeah, let me see how this poll went. Ending the poll, and then I'll get back to comments. We got 50% teamwork points, 33% metal, and 16% health. So I guess we're going with teamwork points. I appreciate it, because that's the one I kind of wanted. Zero said another aspect of Eurocentrism is that we learn and talk about things that all the good things from Europe and none of the bad. Very, very true. That's another very frustrating aspect of looking at European history. And another aspect of that I would add to that is the racial categorizations that we identify across the globe that are not defined on specific cultures, but defined on certain races that were developed by Eurocentric viewpoints and theories, tend to pinpoint a priority towards European standards and features in terms of these racial categorizations. If you look at, for example, how Spain identified people in the Americas, for example, where you had all these different categorizations of mixing and literally definitions of words that meant half this, half that, quarter this, 3/4 that, and developing these languages that were all centered on how to define human beings as how valuable they were based on how closely tied they were to white European society and standards. And yeah, they always would identify those as good things as opposed to other races which were identified more negatively. And, it brings up a lot of issues, especially in this current day and age when all the racial categorizations are defined by white European society, but there's a lack of desire for a recognition by those who share that ancestry that they themselves are a racialized group themselves under those categorizations because they've always been made the default. So thank you for bringing that up, Zero. Let me catch back up super quick, and then we'll get back to playing the game while we talk. I read that. Jaguar says colonization and imperialism allowed for certain groups to be at the center of the story. It's evident in every aspect of society. 100% correct. I think I just spoke on that. So, I mean, I know you said that before I did, but just... Zero says almost all U.S. wars were imperial and colonial wars. I'd argue that there's probably not a single U.S. war where part of the motivation for the conflict was not imperial or colonial. And I can include the American Revolutionary War as part of that, because part of the issue that a lot of people had and why they wanted to rebel against Britain is because they wanted to continue westward expansion and the colonization of the American continent. And it was through that a lot of people sought their freedom to colonize the rest of the continent from Great Britain. So yeah, I don't think I can think of a single war where imperialism and colonialism wasn't in some ways tied into the conflict itself. Jalek says, how could the rich oligarchs ever support the USSR? I'm not sure what that's referencing exactly. Jaguar says there were a lot of women involved in math and science in the USSR. Yeah. Women were often given a much higher standard in the USSR. That doesn't mean that there wasn't still sexism prevalent within the USSR. They didn't magically erase sexism from society. However, what I will say is that women were granted more equality under Soviet rule than in the US for sure. In fact, a lot of early US propaganda criticized Russian women for working and basically dismissed that as this like really bad thing and tried to make all these like propagandistic arguments that Russian women were somehow not beautiful or attractive or sexy because they were hard workers, basically. And it's a really disturbing thing if you look at it. And it's not till much later on when there's an attempt to normalize the USSR a little bit in the US that you start to see a shift towards trying to identify women through very sexualized means in the Soviet Union from the US perspective. And it's really bizarre to look at that form of propaganda tied to sexism between the US and the USSR. Il says, people can praise socialism in Nordic countries in a positive light, but free healthcare and education in Cuba and Nicaragua is just demonized. Yeah, that's another great one. But the thing is the social models in the Nordic countries don't interfere with capitalism in the way that Cuba's does. Cuba having socialism and Nicaragua having socialism means that an entire sector of the capitalist class doesn't quite have the same inroads into making money and exploiting a population that they were used to exploiting. And that's why it gets demonized. So, 100% with you there. Jaguar said the way that history is being recorded through and written word as opposed to other ways of recording history is also Eurocentric. Correct. I'm sure, actually, Jaguar, you could probably give us a better example than I could on that one. Not to put you on the spot or anything, if you can't. But, I do know that, when we emphasize how history is told, the standard of writing in Eurocentric cultures as opposed to oral traditions is one example. There's also there's a number of cultures that I wish I could identify specifically which ones. Unfortunately, a Eurocentric lens makes it a lot more difficult without more extensive research to find specific examples. But there are a number of different groups that will use cloths, beads, and other objects to record and recall histories and stories for storytellers. So it is remarkable how often it happens that we do look at the world through this very Eurocentric lens of even how we record history and how we define history as a very linear system of progression. Alex says it's a reference to Vietnam. Use of the US was courting French oligarchs so that they don't turn to the USSR. Exactly. The thing is there was a huge fear that France and Western Europe was going to fall to communism. You have to remember, quote, fall to communism. You have to remember that in the post-World War II era, France especially had been wrecked by German aggression, by the Nazis. And when you look at France in this post-World War II era, after they're in this position where they're giving up a lot of their colonial powers, I do mean rise to communism zero, when they're giving up a lot of their colonial practices because they can't afford to literally maintain their colonies, that's when you see this massive social program of uplifting and presenting financial incentives to France and to the United Kingdom. The what's the term they used for that? The airlifts? Sorry, the Berlin airlift. You'd get these kind of things where there'd be these massive influxes of packages of goods and services that were provided as aid and relief to France and Great Britain that often ended up leading to deals that ended up continuing colonial practices. There was a genuine fear that people were going to have a massive revolt in Western Europe and join the Eastern Bloc, including West Germany. So defending the French control of Vietnam was imperative to the US's goal of stopping the USSR from being the center of global hegemony. I'd say it went a step further than social democracy. It was a flat out, there were no loans involved even. It was a flat out aid package. Il says, we read an article in our CRT class and it was about non-written history or history passed down by word. Zero says, when Homer does oral tradition, it's cool, but when our ancestors did it, we're uncivilized. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's how that's viewed. And it's a disgusting and disturbing and, quite frankly, Eurocentric trend. Never mind the fact that the entirety of the written records that any of the cultures of Central and South America might have had were likely burned by the Spanish conquistadors. You know, we ignore that part and we just want to dismiss all of that as, you know, as them not having a history down there at all. You know, that's easier. It's easier to acknowledge that. It's easier to pretend that it never existed than to acknowledge the atrocities of those burnings. The amount of people that I hear who are upset about the Library of Alexandria but never actually mention or are upset about the temples that were destroyed from the conquistadors and their conquest of the Americas. It's a double standard. Further coffin works better. There we go. No, I don't want to fight you, Pumpkin. I don't. Okay, I can't get on top of that pumpkin, so... But I need to go up. There we go. That's how I get up. That's a little annoying, but we'll make it work. Let's do a frigid coffin. Pablo can finish that off, actually. That's easy when I actually have... Wait, it only did 1 damage? Oh, because Pablo's in the back row. Alright, not a problem. Just hit it, V. Il says the US and other Western countries spent billions repairing the German industry, but not when it comes to Vietnam. They get sanctions instead for defeating Western powers. You know, not only that, but there's a huge issue in terms of the cultural trends of how Vietnam is still viewed to this day in terms of that conflict. Like, there was a huge resurgence of conservatism that popped up in the 1980s. And if you look at films like Rambo, for example, it's part of this massive drive and push in order to basically relive and change the history of how the Vietnam War went. There's a desire to recontextualize it as a US victory so that the American soldiers got their promised victory like their parents' generation did in World War II. And that tends to be how we view that, as opposed to understanding the reasons why the war took place and analyzing our own faults in history and learning from it. And providing reparations for a nation that was literally bombed pretty much into oblivion. The amount of devastation that Agent Orange caused to the Vietnamese landscape is something that goes untold and has had untold consequences on future generations in terms of cancer rates and everything else. Not to mention the devastation to the land itself, which is irreplaceable and is just an atrocity. And that's, again, not counting the years of the war itself and the struggles and fighting that went into that war, and that's not counting the resistance to French colonial rule that occurred before then. Billions were spent in Afghanistan also, but it wasn't for their benefit. Yeah, no. Afghanistan and Iraq are two more examples of this. Correct. Every U.S. conflict has had this variation or version of these similar events. Zero said, I read a historical fiction novel about that and it was infuriating. Yeah, I can imagine. Jaguar says, it angers me that the pillaging hasn't stopped. The way that, for example, fashion designers take patterns from indigenous and Asian peoples and make so much money off of history and cultures of other peoples. And then if they get called out, all they do is say sorry and that's the end of it. They don't do better and they don't have to. And, you know, it's frustrating because these patterns that are considered, that are already tied to such beautiful cultural and historical narratives are taken out of that context. They are taken by people who have no context for what those symbols mean. They're redesigned and repurposed in ways that are similar enough that somebody from outside, especially, say, your average white person from the US, isn't going to know anything about. And they take those patterns and it makes absolutely no sense in the cultural context, and they make fortunes off of it, like you said, Jaguar. And then when people wear their traditional outfits, they get looked at funny for wearing their traditional outfits. Or they get told, oh, you're wearing such a fashionable outfit. And it's like, no, I'm wearing something that has hundreds of years of history. What are you talking about? Jaguar said something as simple as sex and gender is also Eurocentric. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that, you know? The way that gender and sex have been defined through European lenses, the way that cultural norms and standards for gender roles have been defined through European standards, the way we define gender, and the fact that there are, quote, only two genders is a very European concept. A modern European concept, too, because some of the more ancient cultures in Europe also had multiple genders, and those have been erased through time. So, yeah. And one of the first things that, to come back to the conquistadors, one of the first things they did was take any person of a third gender and try to impose the, two gender binary onto them. You know, and erase an entire cultural history. Zero says, and they actively work to erase context for the people of that culture. Yeah. No, definitely. And Jaguar says, when I was younger, I was criticized for wearing my traditional clothing. Now it's exotified because that's better. Sarcasm. Yeah, it's really not better. It's a I can't even imagine the frustration that you must experience on the daily seeing something like that happen, where you were criticized for something that's so beautifully culturally relevant to yourself and something that you might take pride in, be dismissed and diminished because a bunch of other people think that it's theirs to play with. Like, and honestly, I feel like this is a good point to segue into part of why I brought this up in the first place and why it's something that's been on the forefront of my mind. I put out a video on Thursday talking about the plight and struggle of farm workers in the United States, in the southwestern part of the United States especially, but all through the west coast of the United States. And of course, this tying into issues of borders, immigration, Mexico, and all that gets tied into all of this conversation. And I had posted this video supporting the United Farm Workers and the march that they are doing to travel to Sacramento, California, to appeal to the governor to get more union rights for farm workers. And that is the primary reason I created the video. There was a petition that is there in the link for that video. If you're watching this and you're here this far, do consider just popping over there and doing that. Even if you don't end up coming back to the stream and the video, that is far more important than this game, as far as I'm concerned. Them getting union rights. The farm workers are some of the hardest working people in all of the United States. They are underpaid, they are overworked, they are always working in extreme temperatures, and United Farm Workers is one of the only unions that stands up for them. Agricultural labor rights are an atrocity in the United States. They were never supported under the New Deal in quite the same way that other unions were often supported, and that hasn't changed in the past almost 100 years. So solidarity with the farm workers. But one of the things that happened is when I posted the video, I had used a picture that had some of the people marching, and they were holding the UFW flag, the United Farm Workers flag, which is known as the Welga flag, the Welga strike flag, and a number of different various names that refer to the symbol on it. And a lot of people saw it, and those who do have more European-centered mindsets saw it and thought, this kind of looks fascist. It kind of looks Nazi-esque. And to me, that's something that wouldn't have even crossed my mind, because I grew up seeing it in a certain context. And it's completely distinct and separate from that. And I think it's worth keeping in mind that when we see symbols that come from, thank you for pointing that out. Huelga means strike in Spanish, and it's a flag of a union, and the cultural symbols that are tied to it, the bird on it is either an Aztec eagle or a thunderbird, depending on the different interpretations that I've read. That seems to have been collaborated on and discussed within people in the community on the Discord. Further, there's another interpretation that the symbol on the center is actually a flipped over pyramid to represent some of the different cultures of the region and some of the structures that they built being flipped on their head by Eurocentrism. And so there's a lot of different pieces to this symbol. Never mind that red is a significant color both in socialism and the formation of unions, as well as the context of a lot of indigenous groups in the southwestern United States regions, as well as into parts of what we call Mexico today. And parts of what would have been called Mexico before the U.S., conquered it and stole half of the continent from Mexico and indigenous peoples. But, yeah, so you have this very specific set of colors where the black is meant to represent one thing, which was the plight of the farm workers. The white is supposed to be the hope of their struggle, and the red is the blood and toil of the farm workers. There's different variations I've read of those three particular colors and why they're represented the way they are, and there's other symbols that are historically tied to those symbols that have meaning, right? Like, it didn't develop out of nowhere. It's not like somebody thought, let me just do this thing, and it wasn't copied off of the Nazis at all. And yet people cannot get past, a lot of people struggled to get past that initial gut reaction that they experienced, which I personally see as through a slightly Eurocentric lens. The UFW has marched for and done all this striking for well over 60 years at this point. And it's very important to be able to acknowledge that we can see these types of symbols through multiple different lenses. And even if it's something that's very validly triggering for you, because if you come from a certain cultural background and understanding, you might see that and rightfully think, oh my goodness, this might be something I'm fearful of. But then when you look at the context, and it's not a bunch of white supremacists carrying the flag, but a bunch of people of color carrying this flag, who, you know, many of whom are migrant workers in the United States, maybe there's a point where you start to ask questions and you start to analyze, like, what's the different cultural context here? And when you learn that context, instead of asking people of color to change themselves for you to be comfortable, especially from a European standpoint and looking at a European historical fascist organization as a fearful place that's requiring, where you're asking indigenous peoples and people who have ancestors who are indigenous to change their cultural understanding and their connections to a flag that has a lot of pride and history to it that is important to their struggle, to consider the idea that perhaps you can see it in a different lens and defend it as something worthwhile, even if it still does give you that momentary trigger and reaction. And you know, I'm not discounting that is potentially something that could cause a lot of harm, you know, to people initially, right? It's not something that I would have originally understood, but looking at it now, I get it, from that European standpoint. But there is a necessity to see it as something distinct from that regime and from fascism. Catching the comments here, red and black are our colors, not the Nazi colors, says Zero. Yeah, true. Most of the symbols of the Nazis were appropriated anyway. Yeah, when the UFW marched the first time in 1966, it was very historic. Perry says, hey, welcome, Perry. You entered into the middle of this conversation. The game kind of been on pause for a little bit because I wanted to very much focus and make sure that this was spoken with the care and necessity that I think it needed to be said and that it deserves. So thank you for stopping in, Perry, and I hope that you can have a chill and lovely Sunday with us for the rest of the stream. Jaguar says, from my worldview, the UFW flag has symbolism connected to the peoples of that region, not the Nazis. I didn't even make that connection when I first saw it. I'm 100% with you there. I have seen the UFW flag for most of my life, and it's not even something that I registered as even looking similar, just because it was something normalized as a child as being just a Union flag. And if you look up close, there's not even a similarity. And I didn't make the connection until I saw people on Twitter talking about it and being like, oh, this kind of looks fashy, and I was getting a little upset at that, actually. Because I was like, why would you say that? Like, how are you making this connection? That was my initial reaction, to be perfectly honest, because I understand a lot of the cultural ties and connections to that flag. Jaguar says, I understand how it can seem a certain way for others, but I think the inflexibility to see it from a BIPOC point of view is infuriating. I feel like you're emphasizing the sentiment that I was just providing. 1 second, I need some water. Oh, water break. Everybody drink some water. Zero says, could you just rearrange your entire culture and history to make it more convenient for me? Yeah, I mean, that's literally what colonialism and imperialism have done for hundreds of years. Perry says, was checking out the Why I Hate the World's video on Christian fascism seems good. We need to stop deferring to the dominant culture and mainstream view. Yeah, I'm with you there. It's more than close enough, we've just gotta go north. With haste, Bulgaria cannot wait for us to complete our mission. So how do I get over there? Smoke gushing out of the pipes. I see the dome, but how do I get over there now? Is it just this way? Oh, okay. What was that hideous screech? Just a cute monster, let us deal with it. With a good old beatdown. Stand firm and proud, my knights. We are mere steps away from our goal. Crush this insolent creature that dares defy our most sacred mission. Have no mercy. That works too. To battle. Okay. I'm gonna put you in the front, and V, I'm actually gonna have you use Royal Decree. Let's start the battle off right. And you use Frigid Coffin. That's not good. That completely wasted one of our turns. Primal Weevil. That's funny. That's a great pun. Skills. You know what, we'll do Icefall, so we hit both of them. And I genuinely need V to get me some info. That's nothing like the Golden Settlement's Weevils, it's huge. Gotta watch out for the feints and knock it down before it calls for help. Alright, so... I think I'm gonna have you use this on Leaf. And let's do Icefall and try to go for the double freeze. That is infuriating. Alright, go for the attack. Skill... Icefall. Oh, okay, that makes me feel a little better. Let's get a leaf omelet onto Kabu. Go for the attack. V can attack this. And Icefall will finish it off. And that's 2 turns with... Let's see. Gangle says, YouTube doesn't like me chatting, so I try to avoid doing that. I'll comment a little bit on this flag issue. Yeah, I think the pun is supposed to, is supposed to be, it's a primeval. Gangle says, what you have is a question of language, in my opinion. This is not about Eurocentrism or chauvinism. I'm a little confused at what you are getting at in terms of that. Because I've literally seen people make the comment that this flag that is tied to the pride and culture of certain peoples should be changed, specifically because it looks like something that makes them uncomfortable. And this is coming largely from Europeans who are concerned about fascist symbolism. I don't see how that's not a position of Eurocentrism. Jaguar says, indigenous cultures have been around longer than Nazis. Yeah, that's definitely true. Perry says, Jaguar about indigenous culture being around, so true. Yeah. Gangle says, this is like with the swastika, which can be read a couple of different ways as the appropriated symbol, as well as a sacred symbol in other parts of the world. Both views are valid. Signs are a language. I agree with you. And I think where I'm getting at the idea that it's Eurocentric is the fact that some people are prioritizing and only viewing it through one lens of language. And it happens to be the one that's tied to European fascism, as opposed to taking the time to learn the one that is tied to indigenous cultural heritage. And by prioritizing one view and saying that the other one is in fact not valid, or should be changed, or should be altered, or needs to change themselves. The amount of comments that I saw saying, this flag needs to be altered or changed, who designed this, it must be a secret fascist, or anything like that. That's where I come from the perspective of Eurocentrism. I agree with you that it is a language issue in terms of the symbology. That there are two symbols that look somewhat similar to some people, especially with a without the knowledge especially of one of those two symbols, it looks like something different than what it is. And so I think that as long as you are able to understand the context, that it can exist in this language as one thing and this other language as another thing, I think that's perfectly fine. I just draw the line when people are saying that a bunch of people of color who are trying to fight for their union rights have to change their flag because it's made a bunch of, well, quite frankly, majority white people uncomfortable. That kind of bothers me. And, that's a lack of seeing the different symbols. I'm not asking people not to see it through that lens, Gangle. I'm trying to ask people to see it through more than one lens. Let's see. Harry says to me, it's like if I make an aqua and purple flag because those colors mean something to me. A person can't say that's not what my flag means because aqua and purple means something to someone else. Yeah, basically. Il says we need to prioritize the non-fascistic view over the other. I agree. Merchant says exactly, there's a convenient prioritization of one view over the other, and that's the reason why it should be criticized or called out. And I don't have an issue with people having the gut reaction. My concern is when people are told the explanation for what it looks like, and they say, well, this looks this way, why does it look this way? And they're given an answer, and their response is, well, they should change it. That's really jarring to me. Because the answer should be, oh, I guess I understand that it can exist as a symbol in a different cultural context and have validity. I don't know. It's not like I see this particular Union flag being used for these fascistic purposes. Jaguar says, Gangle, I think what we are saying is to be flexible enough to see it from various points of view, not just BIPOC have to constantly change to accommodate others. Yeah, that's essentially what I'm saying, Jaguar. Thank you for putting that in perhaps a better way than I was originally putting it. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist in the other framework. I'm not saying that the other symbols should just be completely ignored. I'm saying that context for those symbols matter. Who is likely to be waving one symbol versus the other is another factor that I think is getting ignored. You don't exactly see white supremacist rallies with a majority of people of color walking around waving, white supremacist flags. That doesn't typically happen. So there should be an immediate disconnect, I think, from any leftist looking at this symbology and seeing a bunch of people of color waving a flag that could potentially look like something. Because it's a symbol that's so rooted in white supremacist ideology, for example. So the context in which it's being waved should immediately alert people that there's something different in this symbol, at least from the perspective that I see it. Jaguar Zero says everything y'all are saying right now is right on. No notes. Jalik says, plus seeing it that way and demanding it to change is very different. Different symbols are going to be used in different places and cultural contexts. Exactly. And I'm not asking anybody not to see it in a specific context because, yeah, like, in the context that a lot of people see that flag, they have a right to have a question mark appear over their head. And I'm fine with that question mark appearing over their head. It's just that when that question mark gets addressed, the solution is not for a largely indigenous community and those tied to indigenous ancestors to change constantly for European standards. I just don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair. And I don't think that's going to fix things. I think we can have the open discussion of not allowing Eurocentrism in that particular way to dominate the conversation. Perry says, I don't contest that for the Nazis, the eagle and the black and the red and white and gold means something to them. Just that none of these meanings apply to the UFW's use of similar colors and symbols. And I'm correcting Perry there for same, because the symbols are not the same. The eagle being used by the United Farm Workers is a very specific representation that, again, is either tied to a Aztec eagle, which has a very different set of meanings than the warbird that is usually associated through European rule. It doesn't have that imperial connotation to it. And if we're tying it to the Thunderbird, that's an entire other section of understanding that I honestly don't even feel fully qualified to speak on, because I don't know the specific region's connections to the Thunderbird. And that would be trying to speak for so many different cultures that I would feel inadequate, both in myself speaking on it, but also trying to address the nuance of multiple different cultural understandings of what that represents. Duke says, I would agree seeing the symbol from a European lens is inappropriate given the cultural background of those involved. To do so is to completely misinterpret the visual language. It's missing the point. Yeah, correct. Jalek says, using the flag in Germany where I live would probably be a pretty bad idea, but the parts of the US where it's being used right now isn't. And you know, that's an important point about what I said about ethnocentrism, right? European ethnocentrism in Europe kinda has some relevance. Like, that flag being waved in Germany would not have the context to make sense. But being waved in the southwestern United States, given the history, the culture, the identity, the everything else, and given that there's already a history of colonial and imperial practices towards those communities, it's very different. Very different. Gangle says, I'm sure we agree. I just wanted to add a bit of nuance that this is a language problem. The solution is probably to accept that it's there and accept that the misunderstanding will occur now and then. Oh, again, I want to emphasize to you, Gangle, I have no issue with the misunderstanding popping up. I have an issue, again, when people address it and we have the conversation and the response to that conversation is Indigenous peoples and those whose ancestors are Indigenous, and are, you know, that they are asked to change their own connection to this flag that has been a important symbol of workers' rights for over 60 years. I don't think that's appropriate or relevant in the conversation. I don't think that's something that should be asked for. I think it should be very easy for leftists to defend that flag and to acknowledge it for what it is and to explain the difference to people in a way that adds to the conversation, as opposed to blaming the people who are consistently the victims of colonial and imperial rule. And the survivors of colonial imperial rule trying to assert their pride. Duke says, the problem is when a person is then corrected, then they double down and call the movement to change their marketing even still. Duke, that's the thing. This is not marketing. This is... And I know what you're referencing, and I'm not saying this to you specifically. I need it said there that this is not marketing like one would change a logo for a business. This is not changing something that is created within the past, 40 years, has been put on a label that, conservatives cry about, oh, why did they have to change this because of woke stuff or anything like that? Like, that's what conservatives cry about when corporations change their packaging. We're not talking about that. It's not an issue of changing your branding. This isn't branding. This is cultural symbols that have hundreds of years of spiritual meaning and connections. And even if the symbol itself is not directly correlated, it's not one-to-one with some of those older symbols, it's directly borrowed, and not even borrowed, it's directly drawn from those older symbols. Perry says, true, right, have a specific distinction to set them apart. Jaguar says, I think we can all see how there will be a misunderstanding, but then we don't want to see it any other way and ignore the basic BIPOC point of view is what the problem is, and makes it especially Eurocentric. Thank you again for summing up what I've been saying in a much better way than I feel like I've been saying it. Jaguar says, why do BIPOC peoples always have to accept that these things will happen and just deal with it? Gangle says, Duke, even when they do that and make a fuzz, it's important to know where this comes from. Perhaps it's then helpful to explain that this is basically a misunderstanding based on a reading of a symbol. Yeah, I agree with you. It is very much a misinterpretation of language. And I think that it's okay to have that misinterpretation. Just it's as simple as a correction, a learning process, and moving on, as far as I'm concerned. Zero says, when I saw the flag for the first time, I noticed the similarities, and it instead sparked curiosity, which led me to educate myself about why those symbols are there. Yeah, that's what I would hope would be the way that most people who identify with any sort of left perspective would see these symbols, and it would provoke questions. Why does this look like this, and what's going on here? And I'm just going to be real, we have the fullest extent of the internet at our fingertips. It's easy when somebody shows you, and it's connected to the UFW, to just type in even Google, or DuckDuckGo, and just, hey, what is the UFW flag? Why does the UFW flag look the way it does? And to see prior conversations that have happened. It really just takes all of 5 minutes and asking a few questions. Duke says, yeah, Jaguar, I see it too. I see some people who might have some privilege, can resist having to put in the work, be uncomfortable, and learn from it. A lot of deprogramming, things like the patriarchy, deprogramming the white supremacist structure, involves not just breaking down the institutions, but how we benefit and how we are incentivized by the systems, so that we don't end up recreating and reproducing those very systems in a way that hurt people. Because we can very easily reproduce them and hurt people with them. Il says, it's wired. I learned about the movement about Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta before I learned about the flag. So when I saw the flag, I was able to immediately associate it with the movement. I had, in my own personal experience, I saw the flag first. And because I had seen it in the context of a labor struggle when I was growing up. And in seeing that flag for what it was and seeing it as part of a union, I then later learned about Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta and the whole history of the farm workers and their plight and the struggles that they went through. And so for me, I had never actually made the connection that the two flags could have even remotely have been similar, even after seeing the other imagery. It just, this is one thing, and it never dawned on me to see them as similar. And again, it wasn't until I saw it on Twitter when I was doing the research for that particular video that I saw it. Then it was a passing comment, and I just figured, oh, this person just doesn't understand or just doesn't know. And then when I posted the video, it blew up as kind of like the main point. And to me, the flag was never the point. I want to see farm workers get their rights. That's what I care about more than anything else. And it's a little bit frustrating that we focused on the aesthetics of that image and its ties to something that it's not even tied to. Potential ties, rather, to something that it's not even tied to. Instead of focusing on the fact that there are people's livelihoods on the line who are constantly, again, working in like 100-degree weather right now, 100-degree Fahrenheit weather, plus, that are constantly putting their bodies on the line, that are constantly putting themselves out there so that we can eat, and who are constantly being exploited by farmland owners who have a vested and financial incentive to keep these workers down. Duke said, I'm not so sympathetic to a person having no, once they know better, they continue to see the problem. Gingle says, yeah, Duke, some people won't listen to reason. There's a lot we can do except hope, not a lot we can do except hope they'll eventually come around. Zero says, Eurocentrism derails the conversation again. And Duke says, I think that we as leftists should have an expectation that fellow leftists, that they are in fact able and willing to listen to reason. And I'd argue to do a little bit of their own research to the best of their ability. and capability, and if that involves asking questions, fine. If it means going to videos, fine. If it means looking something up, fine. If it means jotting the question down and leaving it in a little journal for later, or even maybe refraining from commenting for a moment and just thinking about it. Like, there's a lot of pathways that one could take besides throwing their immediate response out to the world on Reddit, for example, or on Twitter. I don't know. That's, I guess, just how I see that. Ill says, and inflation. I remember hearing a quote that the people who grow this and work on the fields can't afford the food itself. Yeah, for sure. Jalek says, is stealing sweets from capitalist praxis. And Duke says, aye. Zara says, if you're invested in a struggle, you should want to learn and grow as much as you can. Perry says, is it high fructose? Oh, thank goodness we got that freeze there. Because I need to heal... I need to heal Leaf. And I should be able to do a little bit more damage this turn because of the ice. I think I'm just gonna turn Relay back to Kabu here. And we'll go for another freeze. Nope, didn't get it. So annoying. Honestly, that one in the background isn't really causing that much of a problem right now. I think I do still want to focus on... this one. Or, now that that failed, let me turn Relay back to Leaf. And... I'll use Icefall as well. Alright. Ow. Kabu is not okay. I have a few different strategies I want to play with here. I think the first thing is to Icefall. Let's see what happens. No. Alright, then I definitely need to heal Kabu here. I can't afford for Kabu to go down. Oh, that's not good. That was really bad. I need the freezes here. And I did not get it. Come on. This is brutal. Duke says, okay, Duke I read, Ill I read. I read through that. Jaguar says, Zero makes a good point. Combos tend to turn into the direction of the ones with certain power, and this means away from the actual issue at hand and catering to the hurt feelings and prejudice. Yeah, no, that's a really good point, to emphasize that. Let's try this again. We'll go to turn relay to Kabu. Ill, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it. Ah, there we go, we got the freeze. No, but in all seriousness, I just want to emphasize this to everyone, and, you know, if you have the chance and you're able to sign that petition, you're in a place that you feel comfortable enough to put your name on that paper, or put a name on that paper, go sign that petition for the UFW, and you know, it's on Thursday's video. I will, after the stream, I'll try to put it into the link down below, but it's not there during the stream, but after I will put it there again, because again, the point of all of this is that farm workers are struggling and they need help. Ill, thank you so much for signing it. Honestly, can you sign even if you're from Germany? I don't know. You can click the link and find out. I don't know how they have it set out. I don't know how that would work, to be honest. But what I will say is that they really need that the governor of California sign this into law, this law that they're trying to push for, because it's going to allow a lot of the farm workers to be able to vote on their union through the mail. And that's one of the biggest factors involved right now, because a lot of what's going on, and there's a lot of stuff on Twitter that you can find that explains this in much better detail than I can right now. But essentially what is going on is that a lot of employers are exploiting the fact that a lot of the votes are done on the farms of the employers. And so they can use intimidation tactics, they can threaten people's jobs, they can threaten co-workers of people's jobs on the job site right before the ballot, and they are declaring that the workplace is somehow a neutral territory when it's in fact not. And the ability to mail in ballots would be hugely beneficial for the workers to be able to do their unionizing without intimidation tactics being imposed upon them. So on good turns in this battle, I seem to be able to get approximately 9 damage off. Okay. That's a whole lot of damage. I don't even know how I would have guarded that. And I'm gonna have B use... You know what? I will wait a turn for V. I think Kabu can last one more turn. Let's do a turn relay. And skills. Let's do Frigid Coffin again. That is really hard to guard against. Let's see. The march will only gain more steam, people, and attention as they get closer to Sacramento. I really hope so. Jaguar says, yes, I hope the focus stays strong on their movement and purpose. And Jalek says, oh my god, I hope the tick goes away. And as Il says, sign the UFW petition. 100%. It doesn't take much of our time, and hopefully it makes a difference, even if it's a small one. Il just posted it in the chat, in live chat, so you should be able to see it there. You know, that's an idea, actually. Alright, I need to heal Kabu this turn. So let's use a Leaf Omelet on Kabu. Because I know that's going to be what I do there. I'm gonna go for the attack. And I think I'm gonna go for... I think I'm gonna try Icefall. Press A when the cursor's at the right spot. Okay, that did not do nearly as much as I thought it was going to. And Kabu is gonna need to heal again. Of course. Yo, I can't keep Kabu's health up. V took that one down. And I'm gonna have to use another leaf omelet. Ow. Alright, skill, Royal Decree. I'm gonna take the chance here, and I'm gonna go for Frigid Coffin anyway. That worked out very well. And I'm gonna have you turn Relay into Kabu for a second attack. Let's get some more damage in. While we have Royal Decree up. Come on! Alright, strategy, item. I'm gonna use the hot drink on Kabu. I'm gonna attack with Kabu. And I'm going to have Leaf. Item. Use an ice cream. That was bad luck. Maybe with Kabu getting these 2 turns there, I can pull something off here. That's 3. Another 2. I think I got this. Ow. Turn Relay into Kabu. Are you kidding me? Alright, Frigid Coffin. Alright, that's fine. It's 3. I know Frigid Coffin will do the damage. I just wanna 100% get it. Good. Done. Boss defeated. Excellent work. The kingdom is within our reach, thanks to your efforts. No problem. Halt. Who goes there? A primal weevil? The new radar is working as the professor hoped. You there. You defeated this beast? You have our thanks. As said before, no problem. You must be soldiers from the Termite Kingdom, or am I wrong? That was a bit of a struggle, wasn't it? Cross, she's... You're the Ant Queen. You dare tread our borders? Indeed, I bear grave news. Bulgaria and your kingdom are at risk of a great calamity. What do we do, boy? No one would cross these lands for a cruel joke. It's not for us to decide. Come on, what if it's really serious? It is, I beg of you. You must let us talk to your rulers. Yeah, that was definitely a boss ill. Kabu, you ought to let me do the negotiating. Alright, at the very least, you saved us the trouble of capturing this beast. We'll meet you back at the gate after delivering the weevil and informing the royal guard. Please wait for us there. You're taking it with you? Nothing shady, I assure you. Just some research. Oh, no. Right. Thank you for your concession. We'll meet at the entrance. I do warn you, though, the king will not be happy to see you. Nor the queen, so best of luck. That went well. As expected, ants are still not welcome in their land, such is our history. It'll be okay. This matter concerns every Bulgarian. Just do your magic queen diplomacy. Let's go. Alright, so I think we're at about that time. So next time we'll go in and explore the Termite Kingdom. We finished a boss here. This was a really good conversation. I hope that this provided a lot of context for people who've watched this far as to what Eurocentrism is and what it goes into it, as well as the reasoning behind the examples that we talked about. In addition, you know, if you're here and you can, do consider signing the petition. It's been posted in the chat. I will post it down in the description down below as soon as this stream is over. In addition to all of that, if you enjoyed conversations like this, do consider joining my Discord, because we have conversations like these all the time on the Discord, and it's a variety of different political perspectives and backgrounds that end up producing a very wonderful exchange all the time, and it'd be great to have more voices and perspectives added to that conversation. In addition, I do want to say that if you are in a financial place to do so, and only if you're in a financial place to do so, do please consider donating to this stream via my Patreon. The link is in the description down below as well. It goes a long way to help me and help me support and create this channel and all of the political content that comes with it. Thank you all. Thank you, Il, Jaguar, Zero, Duke, Jalix, and everyone else that was in this conversation. I know I saw Merchants and Perry there as well as Gangle and Imagination Scene. Thank you all for being a part of this. Again, these streams only happen because of you all. Like, it's a great conversation and exchange. I love that you all talk to each other. And I love that it's just a group gathering on these chill Sundays where we can talk politics as well as enjoy a game together. And again, you all make these streams happen. So thank you. And with all of that said, my name is Anarchist Terra. Thank you so much for watching.